On the 27th of March, 1980, wind lashes against steel, waves slam into hollow pontoons, and deep inside the Alexander L. Kielland platform, off-duty workers huddle in the warmth of the accommodation block, unaware that the next few moments will decide who survives and who never sees land again. They read, they joke, they play cards. In one of the small cinema rooms, a cowboy film is about to begin. Despite the brutal storm clawing at the rig, it feels like another ordinary evening. But then, 3 explosions echo through the structure. Sharp, violent, nothing like the creaks they're used to. Men freeze, cups fall, and before anyone can understand what's happening, the world around them violently tilts 30 degrees in a single groaning lurch. A leg of the platform has snapped away. The Alexander L. Kielland, built in 1976, was a semi-submersible colossus, a floating city of steel perched on submerged pontoons designed to remain steady even in monstrous weather. Anchored by cables and engineered to withstand the fury of the North Sea, it was considered safe, dependable, a fortress on water. By 1980, it served primarily as a living hub, housing up to 386 workers, supporting operations at the nearby ETA 2/7C platform. Inside its cramped but lively accommodation block were rows of bunk beds, a bustling canteen, 2 small cinema rooms, and even a makeshift gym. Workers spent long shifts on the ETA, then crossed back to the Kielland through a gangway, returning to warm meals, conversation, and brief escapes from the relentless offshore grind. The storm deepens. Helicopter transfers are canceled. Gusts scream across the deck like tearing fabric. Waves rise 12 meters high, slamming into the pontoons with booming force. With 212 men aboard, many resting, many killing time before the evening film, the Kielland drifts away from the ETA for safety. And then those 3 catastrophic bangs erupt. Metal fractures, a support leg shears away. An anchor cable snaps like a giant breaking free. Objects slide across the deck, chairs topple, trays and utensils scatter. Men leap for balance as the structure leans further and further, turning corridors into slopes and stairwells into hazards. The scramble for survival begins. People rush for life jackets. Some run barefoot across slick floors. Others stagger out of the kitchen, burned by boiling water that splashed during the tilt. Heavy cupboards block exits, doors jam. Windows become escape routes as desperate workers smash glass and climb into wind-blasted walkways. The Kielland has 7 lifeboats and 20 lifer rafts, more than enough on paper. But reality is merciless. The tilt makes some boats unreachable. Others are loaded with men and lowered into the storm, but won't detach from the platform. A safety feature, a release mechanism that cannot disengage under tension, turns fatal. One cable releases, the other remains locked, leaving lifeboats dangling helplessly. One group hacks through their remaining cable with an axe. Another group isn't so lucky. Their boat slams again and again against the Kielland's hull until it shatters, its occupants hurled into the freezing, violent water. Survivor Anders Hellickson later said, "I get the last life vest. The man behind me doesn't get one. His name is Olaf Leah. He didn't survive. Just before I left, I had learned that my wife is pregnant. My dad never had a dad. Cousin Stig never had a dad. Now my child will have no father. For now, I will die at sea." His words echo the terror of those final moments as the Kielland groans, tilts further, and clings to life by one final anchor cable. Dozens of workers climb toward the highest point, clinging to that last cable for hope. until it too snaps with a sound like the world breaking apart. In less than 20 minutes, the massive platform rolls completely. When the Kielland overturns, everything goes silent for an instant. Then the sea erupts with debris, cries for help, and the thunder of the collapsing structure. Inside the accommodation block, water surges through open maintenance doors, flooding rooms, eating through hallways, swallowing anyone trapped within. The once bright cinema rooms vanish into darkness and pressure. Above water, the survivors fight the violent swell. Some cling to splintered wreckage, others grip one another, praying the cold doesn't win. An overturned lifeboat rights itself, sending several men underwater, but a few manage to climb inside, shivering and waiting for rescue that feels impossibly far away. Fog, waves, wind, and somewhere in the chaos, faint voices, men screaming for help from every direction. The Silver Pit, stationed nearby, takes more than an hour to reach the scene. The sea foams around the wreckage, but the fog is so thick that crew members hear survivors but cannot find them. 7 exhausted men somehow swim all the way to the Edda, clinging to a basket lowered by its crew. The Dutch vessel Smitloid arrives just over an hour after the collapse. They search through fog so dense that the world feels erased, calling out into emptiness, hoping for replies. Any replies. They find lifer rafts, but many are eerily empty. 11 hours after the capsizing, only when the storm calms do helicopters lift survivors from drifting lifeboats. By then, hope is nearly gone. Of 212 men aboard the Alexander L. Kielland that night, 123 never come home. Families wait, watch the horizon, pray for news. The Norwegian government launches an inquiry almost immediately. Engineers trace the failure to a single defective weld, a brace weakened during construction years earlier, slowly cracking through fatigue until it finally gave way. The owners blame the French builders. The builders blame the owners' anchoring and maintenance. No answer brings back the lost. Compensation comes slowly, too slowly. Survivors and families fight for recognition for more than 4 decades before the government finally agrees to contribute. The defective brace was only the spark. Everything else, doors left open, lifeboat release systems flawed, an insufficient number of anchor cables, chaotic evacuation procedures, turned a structural failure into a catastrophic loss of life. What follows is a sweeping transformation across North Sea operations. Emergency command structures are redesigned. Alarm systems are modernized. Lifeboat release mechanisms are rebuilt to work even under impossible angles. The oil industry learns, painfully, what it ignored for too long. Today, deep in a Norwegian fjord, the drained and righted shell of the Kielland lies abandoned beneath cold waters, a silent monument to a night of unimaginable terror. And in Stavanger, a massive broken chain stands tall, links split apart, metal frozen mid-rupture. Beneath it, the names of the 123 lives taken by a single defective weld, a ruthless storm, and a sequence of failures that should never have been allowed to happen. The chain sits there, unmoving, facing the sea. A reminder that stability is never permanent, and that sometimes the smallest fracture can bring down the largest giant.